Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Bay City Players as we present another original comedy. My name is Mike Wisniewski, and I am glad you have joined us for our 14th online performance. Last week, we brought you an original comedy, Bitter Alice, by Daniel Fenton from Indiana. Tonight, we are thrilled to present the comic fantasy True Will by playwright William Triplett from Virginia. Bay City Players is excited to participate in the Make Art virtual campaign started by our friends at Midland Center for the Arts. We would also like to thank our season sponsors, Chemical Bank, Independent Bank, Landau Packaging Systems, Skorupski Family Funeral Home and Cremation Services, Wildfire Credit Union, and Michigan Sugar. Bay City Players is dedicated to our mission of providing high-quality theatrical experiences for the entertainment, education, and enrichment for all members of the community. The show must go on, but virtually. So if you are enjoying our virtual performances brought to you by original playwrights, please consider donating to Bay City Players. Just go to our website, click the donate button. Any amount given or donated is greatly appreciated. And now I would like to introduce our playwright for this evening, William Triplett. Bill?
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm very pleased to be here. I'm very excited for tonight's performance. I wrote this play not too long ago, and it's been one actually that's been on my mind for a while because of the characters involved. I've always kind of had a fascination with all of them. And it led to a plot that I really had not foreseen until I just sort of threw them all together and wondered what could happen. And you'll be seeing that shortly, and I hope you have as much fun watching it as I did writing it. Thanks.
Great, thank you, Bill. So with our doors still closed, we are grateful to use this platform to connect with each other. So feel free to comment as the show goes on and let us know what you think. Our cast comes to you with little rehearsal time and without access to our theater has found props and costumes to use from their own home. Now, if you are interested in participating in future programs such as this, please send Bay City Players a message on our Facebook page or message myself, MJ Wisniewski, on Facebook personally, and I will add you to our list. Also, stay tuned for our next performance. More about that at the end of the show. Now I'd like to introduce our cast for this evening. Cast members, when I call your name, give the audience a wave, let them know your character's name and where you are from. Glenn Lamont.
Good evening. I will be playing Ian Fleming, and I'm from the tiny little town of Angleton, Texas, which is close to the big city of Houston, Texas.
Kevin Shields.
Hi, I'll be playing Noel Coward, and I'm coming from Midland.
Timothy Simons.
Hello, I'm playing Alistair Crowley, the world's most evil man, and I live in Freeland, Michigan.
Brianne Dolney.
Hi, I'm playing Penelope Money, and I'm from Bay City, Michigan.
Kevin Prophet.
Hey, I'm Rudolph Hess, and I'm coming to you from Bridgeport, Michigan.
And Trishan Donald.
Hello, I will be playing Sally Benson tonight, and I am coming to you from Saginaw, Michigan.
Also tonight we have Jacob Kaufman behind the scenes, making sure that everything sounds and runs smoothly. And finally, our narrator for tonight is our own playwright, William Triplett. So thank you all for joining us tonight. Now sit back, hopefully you have a drink and a snack in hand, and enjoy True Will.
True Will, Act 1, Prologue. Pool of Light on Fleming.
When you grow up in someone's shadow, you think life in the dark is, well, normal. That no matter how much you want to be in the light, even for just a moment, it's not meant to be. Still, for some reason you try and you fail. You try and you fail. You try, or perhaps you discern a pattern. But I refuse to give up. I believed if I kept trying, something would come to me, an opportunity to draw the limelight onto me, once and for all. And it finally has. An idea so bloody unorthodox, so unconventional, so un-English, it has to work. I should think and hope. I mean, it was worth a try, right? I rang up the only person I trusted to give me an honest answer and not nick my idea. An old family friend, the one, the only, Noel Coward.
Ian, you can't be serious.
Completely. What do you think?
Well, I mean, magic, astrology, the whole occult thing.
Complete rubbish, of course.
Yes, the only stars I can blame for my failures are the ones that walk on stage. Still, you know who believes it, and since the usual interrogators haven't gotten anywhere with him, well, it's bold to say the least.
Isn't it?
Well, possibly daft.
I wouldn't argue.
I just wish I'd thought of it.
Really?
Now, you must propose it to your superior immediately.
Yeah, so that's the problem. Even if he approves it, he'll have to propose it to his superior and so up the chain. Can't imagine anyone who would have the foresight and perspicacy that you have.
Oh, true. The officer corps is just rancid with common sense.
But you know the Prime Minister.
I should hope so. I may be the only person besides your mother who knows everyone who's worth knowing. Want me to speak to the old bulldog?
Would you mind terribly?
Oh, I'd love to. It'd be so completely unexpected, outrageous even. Probably make him choke on one of his foul cigars. Oh, isn't that an image? The only thing is, Crowley. He does have a bit of a reputation.
Awful bad, I know. So bitter and jealous of everyone.
Certainly everyone who's successful. What to say if Winston wonders whether you can control him?
How about I'm known for imposing steely discipline on everyone and everything.
No, he might think I'm talking about your brother.
My brother has nothing to do with this.
Oh, and he shan't. Leave it to me, old trout. I'll come up with something.
Wonderful. Oh, Noel, I'm so excited. This could do it, you know. It really could.
Oh, I think so. Along with your forthcoming marriage to one of the country's most eligible young women, a triumph like this will eclipse your tarnished past and guarantee you a stellar future. You shall finally be the star of your own show. I always knew I was right to like you, even though you're not as famous like your brother. Plus, I've always felt bad for you, the way your mother has shamelessly favored him since the day he was born.
You are, as always, too kind.
I'll be in touch. Ciao.
Oh, Prime Minister, do not deny me this. Please.
Blackout as an air raid siren starts to blare, then the sound of airplane engines above getting nearer, followed by scores of bombs whistling down and exploding. As siren engines and explosions fade, we are in scene 1, where we hear a steady drone of chanting, and there's a dim, strange light gradually rising only until we can discern an imposing figure swathed in ritualistic garb in a threadbare London room.
Stars and sigil antidotes, all ye inhabitants of the 10,000 worlds, thy devoted and true believer once again approaches seeking union with the Absolute, the ultimate divine self-abnegating Yanga, the day's Tatwa. What shall it be? Cups? Wands? Nay, none of these. Today demands motion. Up and down, in and out. A colossus of fertility rising, chewing, growing, searching for the great cosmic yoni. That is our Tatma. The station is assumed. Asuna. The concentration engaged. Peremoana. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law. Law under will.
Fleming and Coward enter.
Sorry, the door was open. Mr. Crowley, is it?
I'm sorry, Mr. Crowley is not accepting any visitors or practitioners unless they compensate.
You are not Mr. Crowley, then?
Well,
You're not Mr. Crowley?
I realized at the age of 13 I could no longer be Crowley. At least not at the time. He returns on occasion, though.
Understood. Well, you are now.
Peramido, Baphomet, Marema Araketa. To you, though, I will answer as beast.
Brilliant. Well, my name is Fleming, and this is
Peter Fleming?
Ian.
Oh, a pity.
Lieutenant Commander Ian Fleming of the Royal Naval Intelligence Directorate, and this is
You look familiar.
Of course I do.
Some type of artiste.
Yes, a unique type. Couldn't be more bloody sui generis if I tried.
Chicken.
Coward.
Ah, yes. Noel Coward and the Lesser Fleming. This cannot be good.
He judges without knowing what he's judging. Are you sure he's not a critic?
Are you still inflicting on the theater arts talents more profitably employed upon taxidermy?
Mr. Crowley.
Beast.
Beast, then, by all means. Would you like to do something for your country?
Why? England has never done anything for me. Only to me.
You are aware that we recently captured the third highest ranking officer of Nazi Germany.
Rudolf Hess. Everything from the Bebop to Radio Berlin talks about it. You need not the beast help there.
Actually, we do.
Possibly the greatest understatement in recent memory.
You have my attention.
Well, before anything further, we must have your word. That what we say here shall not go beyond these 3 walls.
No, there's 4.
Well, not where I come from.
Why would I repeat anything you have to say?
Something more formal, please.
I swear by the ancient powers of the Semela, by the sacred rites of the Ordo Templi Orinitis, by the holy secretions of the whore of Babylon herself. Formal enough?
That was beyond words marvelous, and I rarely say that. You must tell me how you do it.
In all his ramblings, Hess said he wants peace between our 2 countries. A complete wrath, of course. Hitler's crushed everyone who stood up to him, and things don't change soon. He may crush us.
So, why is Hess here?
That's just it. We're not sure. We don't even know if he's sane. Hard to tell with Nazis, you know. Interrogators have tried, but he says he'll talk only to the Duke of Hamilton.
Then let him.
No! Half of British royalty is related to half of German royalty, and most sympathize with Herr Hitler. They've already pressuring Winston to talk peace with Hess. They've even hinted at sacking him if he doesn't.
Herr Hitler offered peace to Comrade Stalin 2 years ago. It seems to be working out quite nicely.
Why does Hess fly to Scotland to see the Duke instead of coming to Downing Street? No, Something is going on between Hesse and our royals, and it's not peace.
A fifth column in the second estate. Disloyal royals do not interest me.
Did I mention Herr Hesse has an interest in astrology?
Can't be much if the papers are to be believed. The night he flew here, 6 planets and 2 stars were in the house of death. Not the most sublicious sign for travel.
Can there be any doubt that we've got the right man?
Oh, dear boy, you should have been a casting director.
Hesse and several tip-top officials in the regime, in fact, seem to pay close attention to the occult. Don't know why. It's all a bit silly to me.
And yet, occult philosophy reigned in Persia with the Magi, endowed India with wonderful traditions, civilized Greece to the sounds of Orpheus's lyre. It has governed the minds by some curiosity, and others say it is ruled by fear. Yes, a bit silly.
Right. We believe you can find out why Hesse is so damn bent on talking to the Duke.
He keeps babbling about how the celestial forces are aligned in his favor only for a short while. Lots of that supernatural gibberish, which he seems to take quite seriously.
And you, of course, the greatest living authority on occult in all of Britain.
Greatest living or dead.
Precisely. You can bait him with your expert knowledge. Say he's misread the celestial forces or whatever. Gain his confidence and find out what the devil he's up to.
How utterly delicious. The very things for which the English have persecuted me, persecuted, do you hear, are now the very things that they need.
One could certainly infer the presence of irony.
Or karma. In the compensation?
Certainly enough to move to a better part of London. Perhaps even buy some furniture.
To be sure. None, but I could do it. Just one thing.
What?
If Royal Navy intelligence truly is intelligent, why would it send you 2? You especially. Your brother? Perfectly understandable. The papers are full of great accomplishments of Peter Fleming. But you? What have you ever done except embarrass the otherwise noble house of Fleming?
Have you been talking to my mother?
Only if your mother is an adept or a prostitute of the highest echelon.
Maybe I haven't streaked across the English sky the way my brother so ostentatiously has. And maybe my mother got me into the naval intelligence. But I suggested that we bring you in. And the PM himself approved it. My idea.
So? What about him? A man of the theater. Is there anything more useless?
You'd be surprised how useful we men of the theater can be for intelligence.
Writing your plays in invisible ink? One can only hope.
Oh, my dear man, my handwriting is hard enough to read with visible ink. Don't you think invisible would be a bit much?
Visible or not, the notion that naval intelligence would have anything to do with you defies even my imagination. And I can describe visions to make the fallacies of your pubis uncurl.
While I always love to talk shop, let me inform you that I am here on behalf of the PM, Winston himself. Undercover, of course, like I've been since this bloody war started. That's why I was in America until now, posing as a famous tourist, but secretly serving as the PM's eyes and ears, trying to curry favor from a country we so desperately need, but wants no part of this war.
So, what do you say, beast, old boy? Ready to report for duty.
You think decades of vilification and derision simply vanished the instant this bloody country finally condescends to show me the slightest respect? You think I'm so bleeding desperate?
We're putting this badly, aren't we?
I should think some groveling is in order.
Quite. Perhaps you might see our presence today, our request on behalf of His Majesty's government. You might see this as the start of a long overdue apology. We need you, sir, Just think what it would mean to be part of an effort that could expose a traitorous plot at the highest levels.
And if there's no plot?
You will have done the great service of putting the PM's mind at ease. Either way, compensation could very well include the personal thanks of the king.
Personal thanks announced publicly?
As much as discretion will allow.
Oh, yes, discretion. The psychic syphilis of England. Well, I shall not only be recognized but honored for my powers and success to the fullest extent discretion will allow. Clear?
Absolutely.
And I'm nobody's corporal. I decide how to speak to Hess, when to speak, and what to speak about. I'm in charge of my part. No one else.
Understood. Just keep in mind, we're all part of a group effort. So, we can count on you.
Assuming we are all agreed.
Oh, not to worry. I simply continue to be Winston's eyes and ears. You know, the occasional status report and such. I will be far more focused on my main assignment from him. Write another devastatingly brilliant stage comedy, so full of scintillating wit and urbanity, people will forget about this horrible war for 3 hours. They will also forget about all the disgusting headlines lambasting me for gallivanting off to America while they suffer the Luftwaffe's bombs. So, my public will return and my critics, the bastards, will weep great green tears of envy.
Oh, joy. What will it be this time? Another frothy tale of privileged twits?
Oh, you confuse me with Mr. Woodhouse. I have no idea what it will be yet. I just know it will come to me easily and ingeniously. It always does.
We can hardly wait. Where are you keeping Hess?
Buchanan Castle, northwest of Glasgow.
Not exactly on the tube, is it?
A car will come for you later today. Do be ready. Good to have you on the team.
Fleming and Coward leave.
Do you really think the beast doesn't know when he's being used?
Scene 2, Buchanan Castle. Fleming's office. A uniformed woman, Penelope Money, looking through some sort of catalog. The phone rings.
Special Operations Lieutenant Money. Oh, hello, Mother. You must be psychic. I was just having a look. So far, I rather like the silhouetted bride and groom. Excuse me? It may not be perfect, I agree, but I don't know that it's hideous.
Fleming enters.
Darling, you'll simply not believe this.
Page 14. Just a minute. Oh, yes. Well, it's lovely. I'll show it to Ian shortly. He just got back. Yes, I promise. Thank you, Mother. Yes, cheers.
Yours or mine?
I've told you, dear. Mother is yours, M is mine. Makes it so much simpler.
Only I could remember. I wish you could have been there.
Where's that, dear?
London.
You found him, then?
Found him and bagged him, just as I said I would. Such a horrid man, so full of himself. There was no way he could say no to me.
I'm sure you were magnificent.
As a matter of fact, Penny, I was. At first, he...
Your mother thinks the one you like is hideous.
Of course she does, the cow. Anyway, when we walked in...
What do you think of this one?
Seriously?
That's what I thought. Your mother loves it. And I'm beginning to think she's right.
Hen, darling, I'm beginning to think you're not listening to me. Can you at least wait until after we're married?
Ian, I'm so dreadfully sorry. Please tell me how most extraordinary you were.
I made it very clear that one way or another, he was coming here to do exactly as I say.
Darling, I'm so proud of you. My take charge hero.
you'll be even prouder when I get Hester Crack and both the PM and the king himself and all day one of England shall thank me personally. The brains behind it all. Wait till Mummy dear hears that.
I expect no less. In the meantime, do forgive me with all this, dear. I know it's old hat for you, but I've never been married before.
I never actually was married, you know.
Right. I meant engaged, but you probably had your invitations picked out, didn't you?
Yes, but, well,
Oh, my poor darling, please forgive me. She was on her way to pick something when her car crashed, wasn't she? Was it the invitations? I am so sorry.
don't think I've ever said it, but it was probably better we didn't marry.
Why?
Let's just say things could be a bit tempestuous with Sally.
You don't think we're moving too fast, do you? You've not known me very long.
There's a war on. We might not have much time, and Mother approves of you. It's settled.
I shan't mention it again. How many should we order? 100? 200? It won't make any difference to Papa.
Have I told you how much I adore your father? Such a dear man, and so well named.
Earnest Money. I suppose it does have a ring to it.
Peggy Fleming will have an even better ring. Now, I can leave all this to you. Your take charge hero needs to make sure things are in order. Crowley arrives tonight, and he's not known for following rules.
You must absolutely let him know who is boss, darling. From the start. Remember that.
I shall. And as such, history could be made tomorrow by a Fleming other than Peter.
Fix your hair first.
Oh, yes. Thank you, dear.
And your collar.
Of course.
Fleming exits. The phone rings.
Special Operations Lieutenant Money. Hello, M. You must be psychic. He was just here. Yes, I can talk.
Scene 3. Morning. A room in the castle. Hess sitting with a plate of food.
Fish and beans for breakfast? Why are we bombing you when you are poisoning yourselves?
Fleming and Crowley enter.
You are new.
Quite the contrary. I'm as old as sin, but far more interesting.
I believe he was talking to me. We haven't met yet. I'm Lieutenant Commander Fleming.
Peter Fleming?
Ian, actually.
His brother.
We did not know he had a brother.
Few people do. But you expect that to change, don't you, Commander?
Yes, well, let me introduce...
No need.
Beg pardon?
I'll handle everything from here. As we discussed. Thank you, Commander.
I see. Well, get right to it then. Very well. I'll stop back later and see how you're doing.
No need, Commander.
All right. Pleasure.
Fleming exits.
If you are here to torture me, you waste your time. I talk only to the Duke. He understands.
Understands what?
That I am an emissary of peace.
That's so.
It is criminal two Nordic races should fight each other instead of our common enemy, the communist. Criminals, do you hear? What is wrong with that warmonger Churchill? We share blood. My ancestors subjugated yours over 1,000 years ago when this country did not even have a name. And we gave it to you. You could be descended from a woman my forefathers violated for their pleasure.
Well, cousin, I merely wish to say there are other ways to speak to someone other than in person.
You will give me a telephone? A transmitter, perhaps?
Nothing of the sort.
Who are you?
Who am I? Why? only the most wicked man in the world.
Mein Gott,
Your God, indeed.
you are der Magier.
Not just any Magyar. 9th degree, 2nd Sephra, one step away from the College of the Invisible.
I have heard of you spoken many times. Even the Führer's personal astrologer reveres you.
Did he draw a chart for you, complete with the celestial forces?
Of course.
The man knows astrology as well as Americans know geography.
How strong is you? I am honored to be my torturer. It does you no good, but you pay me a great compliment.
How strong is your will, Herr Deputy Reichsführer? Your true will, that is.
Why, like iron, I am sure. I am National Socialist.
But do you even know what your true will is? The very core of your being.
I am devoted son of the fatherland. It is my duty, my will, to do everything I can, even die, to ensure its greatness.
As I suspected, you do not know. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Have you never heard of that, Herr Hess?
I have. I assumed it was a ridiculous way of justifying one's appalling behavior.
It has nothing to do with infantile self-indulgence. Rather, it's about knowing one's own true will and exercising it, imposing it on the world. Imagine what you could do, what your country could do.
We are already the greatest power in the world has ever seen.
You speak of earthly power, which is limited. I speak of hidden power, ancient secrets possessed by only a few, understood by even less. You could be among them.
And how does one acquire these secrets?
One studies, Herr Deputy Reichsführer, under the tutelage of a master adept of the 2nd Sephra, a magus.
Would you teach me?
I could, were I so inclined.
Why would you do that?
Fleming wants to get military secrets out of you. How boring. You and I are both men of the occult, and I am far more interested in how magic has fared under National Socialism. Your apprenticeship will tell me. In return, you discover your true will, and once you learn how to harness it, you can project anything in your mind directly into the Dukes.
Gottes Willen.
Fleming enters.
What?
Easy, old boy, just stopping by, being the supervising officer, you know. So, how are you two getting along?
Exceedingly, until we were interrupted.
Oh, superb. Carry on.
I would prefer you go.
You won't even know that I'm here.
You are saying, Herr Hess?
Yeah, I was saying, what was I saying?
A prospect that could help your mission.
Gottes Willen. I remember now. Perhaps then...
I beg pardon, but what prospect was that exactly? I'm really the one who can authorize a prospect.
You are interfering. Again.
And I do apologize, but there are rules, and it's my job to see everyone follows them, isn't it?
I will tell you later.
Well, that's a bit unorthodox, but to show what a sport I am, I'll agree.
Thank you. Now shut up. Perhaps then what?
I am not sure now.
Why not?
Who is in charge here?
Now, I am, overall, that is.
What do you think you are doing?
I need to know everything is on track and that we're making headway. Is that asking you to indulge in too great of a hazard?
You think winning confidence happens just like that? Wave a magic wand and presto? You have no idea what magic truly is.
Yeah, of course. But that's part of your show. Please, just allow me to be in your audience. Quiet as a tomb, as a corpse even.
I can help you with that. If you want to acquire powers you can only dream of, you need only look to me. Whether you talk to the Duke of Hamilton one day depends upon your true will.
You can arrange this conversation.
Facilitate is probably the better verb.
I'm not sure what to say at the moment.
I should think yes will do nicely.
Get out! Get out now and do not return!
Oh. All right, we'll discuss it later.
Fleming leaves.
Perhaps he is your torturer.
Worse, he thinks he can exploit my powers for his own ends, but I assure you, my powers only serve my needs.
Scene 4. A suite at the Savoy Hotel. Coward is lounging with pen, pad, and a drink, and there are many wadded up pieces of paper on the floor.
A brilliant and charming English author on his first speaking tour in America is invited to spend a quiet and restful weekend in where? Rhode Island. No. Brilliant and charming English author, desperate for respite, checks into the Waldorf Astoria under an assumed name. Oh, yes. He is recognized by a bellboy. An ambitious bellboy? Nah, an ambitious and handsome bellboy. An extremely handsome bellboy. Oh, bloody hell.
Phone rings.
Whoever you are, it's about time you called.
No,
Ian?
are you all right?
Well, never better.
How's the Savoy?
I'm still an oasis of civilization amid the Blitz.
And the new masterpiece?
Coming along swimmingly.
I'm so glad to hear because I've got a bit of a situation.
Does it involve a bellboy?
I beg your pardon.
Oh, never mind.
That damnable Crowley. When I said he could be in charge of his part, I didn't mean the whole operation. He's trying to take over. Problem is, I certainly can't sack him, and if I pull rank just the slightest too much, he could walk out.
Oh, you need to be clear to him. He is not the key to any success you might have. Without letting him know, he is obviously the key to any success you might have.
Precisely.
Well, how are you going to do that?
Well, I was thinking, Hess wants to see the Duke. Well, it's no secret some of your most ardent admirers and dearest friends are royals.
Oh, so true. Traitors they may be, they still have impeccable taste.
What if we were to use that? Or rather make Crowley believe we're using it as another lever on Herr Hess.
Oh. You think Crowley will think we're not completely relying on him and perhaps be more cooperative?
What do you think? Worth a go?
Absolutely worth a go. Now, give yourself a decent hug from me, and if that's not possible, get an anaconda to do it sweetly.
Thank you, my friend. Now, back to your masterpiece.
Before I can write a masterpiece, one needs a bloody idea.
Scene 5. Next day. A hallway in the castle. Crowley enters from one end, Penny from the opposite.
May I help you?
Would you be so kind, dearest lady, to inform me where I might find Commander Fleming in this labyrinth that rivals the Minotaurs?
I'm on my way to meet with Ian now. I mean, Commander Fleming. Shall I take a message?
Please, but have we met?
Lieutenant Penelope Money at the moment, but Mrs. Ian Fleming soon.
Oh, now, Tahania. as they say in Cairo.
How kind. Do thank them for me. You wouldn't happen to be the renowned beast 666 foretold in the Book of Revelation, would you?
Foretold by both the book and my mother, humbly before you. Did you know that matrimony can be among the most efficient means of achieving samadhi?
I did not know.
I speak, of course, of Hatha Yoga, the seminal fount of all the sutras. Since the dawn of time, Hatha devotees have been fusing the male and female aspects of the cosmos into a state of consciousness, the ultimate consummation of union between the eternally restless Ligham and the perpetually quivering Yoni. Rapture is inevitable.
Yes, I can imagine. Suddenly I feel a bit strange. What shall I say to Commander Fleming?
That I am ready for my session with the prisoner today.
The prisoner has already had his session.
That is impossible.
But he has.
With whom?
Commander Fleming.
What?
He is pursuing a separate line of inquiry in tandem with yours. Something involving the royals, exploiting Mr. Coward's connections with that crowd.
Since when?
Since this morning. And between the two of you, Mr. Hess should be telling us all that he knows in short order.
The two of us.
You will see Mr. Hess tomorrow when it's your turn.
My turn?
I will let Commander Fleming know we spoke.
Penny leaves.
Worthless piece of angelic shit! You finally reveal your treachery! You will not deny me what will be mine. You who have never suffered as I have. Perhaps it is time. O Magistre Invisibilitas, cum Magistris, hear thou me, prophets of Chem. I invoke thee, the terrible and invisible God, who dwells in the void place of the heart. Cry aloud and whirl the wheel. Raoul Quick, Anka Fleming, whirl the wheel. Satra, Russia, Anka Fleming.
An interrogatory rumbling from somewhere.
What? No, not Peter, the other one.
A lone, high-pitched whistling from above, like a single bomb falling. The whistling gets louder along with the music and the chanting, but just when the bomb should hit and explode, there's silence.
My turn.
Scene 6, Fleming's office, Penny and Fleming.
Dad, thank God.
Oh, God.
Except
what, dear?
there was no siren, don't you think?
Nor the sound of any aircraft.
A glider. Oh no. What if Jerry has learned that Hess is here?
And he's trying to kill Hess before he talks.
Precisely.
We might have a considerably dangerous piece of unexploded ordnance out there.
We should have the guards search the ground.
I'll do it.
Now, do not go out there with them. You are to organize only. That's an order. I don't know what I'd do if anything ever happened to you. I could never love another woman, never.
Do not worry, darling. And don't forget.
Looks like a menu for a high tea.
It basically is. For the reception. Do look it over, please.
Of course.
Penny leaves. Enter Sally Benson, more than a little bewildered. Sally has on a dress that is clearly stylish despite looking like she might have been wearing it in a coffin for 2 years.
My God.
Jesus H.
It can't be.
It most certainly is. What are you doing here?
I could say the same. And who are you, really?
You expect me to believe you don't recognize me.
But you're dead.
Yes. And if I'm seeing you, you must be too.
Hardly. I'm very much alive, I'll have you know.
Then where am I?
Scotland.
Better than Wales, I guess.
Sally, is it really you?
Of course it's me, Ian.
How is it possible?
I have no idea. 1 minute I'm listening to Josephine Bonaparte go on about how she told her nitwit husband not to start a war with Russia. Did he listen? And the next I'm whisked away to this drafty dump.
Must be in some sort of dream.
Well, if you are, I'm in it too. And that can't be all bad, right?
This can't be happening. What's going on?
Beats me, handsome. But since I'm here, may as well make the best of it.
I refuse to believe this.
Now that's a hell of a way to greet your fiancée, even if she is dead.
Don't say that word.
What word?
The F word.
Fellatio? I didn't say it.
Not that F word. Never mind.
You're not the least bit glad to see me.
Why, of course I am. It's just
Not how you imagined.
why would I have imagined I'd ever see you again?
I don't know. Did you want to see me? I often wanted to see you, and I did for a while. They don't know what to do with you if you kick the bucket early. And I saw you grieve for a whopping 20 minutes.
Not true. I was annihilated for weeks, months.
Didn't look like it to me.
How would you know? The English grieve differently than Americans.
Oh, Ian, whether you grieve 20 minutes or 20 months, doesn't matter. What matters is, for whatever reason, I'm here again with you.
It is slightly different this time, don't you think?
Obviously. But love never dies, you know.
Sally, 2 years is a long time.
Oh, I know. Life goes on, people move on, yes. I felt that way too. I really did wish you well, love and happiness and whatnot for the rest of your life. But now that I'm here, I may have to reassess all of that.
You can't possibly think that we could just pick up where we left off.
How would we know if we didn't try?
You're dead.
I knew you'd say that.
This is insane. I must be mental.
You once told me that if you ever lost me, you wouldn't know what to do because there would never be another woman you could love. Never. You said that. And we were naked.
That was long ago.
You aren't married, are you?
Of course not. But what if I were?
Amanda Fleming.
Coming!
Penny enters.
It's not what you think.
What is it?
I can explain, I think.
Explain what?
Me, sweetie.
Don't be rude.
Excuse me. Are you all right?
I'm sure you can see that there's been an unexpected development.
Is that what I am now?
What are you speaking
Shut
about?
up!
I beg your pardon.
Oh, no, not you, dear. I mean, not you.
Who then?
What do you see there?
Far wall of your office?
Nothing else?
I do have remarkable eyesight, you know.
Which explains why you look like a molting hog.
I'm warning you.
Warning me? About what?
I'm so
And why?
sorry. I'm so sorry. Again, not you.
Who else then? If this is some game, I'm not getting it.
Doesn't surprise me.
I told you.
You never told me about any game. I don't know what's going on, but I'm here to tell you that I'm going to have to help search for the dud. I know you don't want me to, but...
Outstanding idea, and you should hurry.
Oh. Very well. I'll let you know as soon as I'm back. Have you looked?
I was just about to.
You sure you're all right?
Completely.
And he leaves.
Who's that?
My adjutant.
Sounds more like your boss. So you're back in the army.
Maybe.
That makes more sense, since the army didn't seem too keen on keeping you. Like the bank, or the foreign office. Was there another?
I'd say you've cataloged my failures quite thoroughly.
You do look pretty good in that uniform. I think your whatever, would agree.
My adjutant.
As long as she's not your woman. You know, I have a little problem with jealousy.
A little.
Don't be so smug. What's that?
This? Nothing.
She didn't seem to think so.
If you must know, it's a memorandum for my eyes only that urgently requires my attention.
I might still have something for your eyes only.
Don't be macabre now. I don't know how you got here or what's going on, but the fact of the matter is I'm in the middle of the most important assignment of my career. Do they have newspapers where you were?
Why would they?
Well, surely the Times. But in any event, we're at war. Hitler has crushed the continent. We're the last of the holdouts, and we might not be able to hold out much longer.
Wow, sounds crummy.
Indeed. So I must ask you to please, well, let me do my job.
I'll do nothing but help. That's what lovers do for each other, isn't it? That and other things.
Yes, I suppose.
You do miss the other things.
They were a bit over the top, as I recall.
We didn't know how to do it any other way, and you loved it.
Yes, it was quite... I really must go back to work.
Go right ahead. I think I'll go do a little exploring. What the hell is this place anyway?
Buchanan Castle. The north end is actually rather interesting.
Thanks for the tip, sugar. I'll go check it out. Which way's north?
That way.
Sally leaves in one direction. Fleming hurries out in the opposite. Scene 7. In Hess's cell, Crowley and Hess.
Are you a wagering man, Herr Hess?
Only degenerates wager.
That is good, because I would not want you to bet money Fleming will help you.
Perhaps, perhaps not.
He is not to be trusted.
Why not?
Hundreds of reasons. For one, he's in the middle of planning his wedding, a very big affair. Like all who are betrothed, he is consumed by the fantasy of enduring happiness, even all while knowing in the darkest corner of his being it will eventually fade, as it must, into all that remains of something between habit and inertia. Thus, his focus is not you. I should not be surprised that at some point he considers you a bother and orders your execution.
You know, the Fuhrer can be like that sometimes.
There's also the inconfusible fact that Fleming is most emphatically not a believer. I don't even grasp the physical symbolism of your swastika.
Still, he could get me to the Duke, perhaps sooner than you could.
With what I have to offer, the Duke will in fact come to you. All will be determined by the strength and substance of your true will. But your apprenticeship must start soon.
I am not an apprentice. You think because I am the son of a chicken farmer that I could not know anything about the secret world? Well, I was a member of the Thule Society, descended from the ancient nobles of the Pures. Aryan forebetters. Uh, you look surprised, Herr Magyar.
Only by the excessive significance you attach to it. Aside from bequeathing your dire warnings about the elders of Zion and the scourge of communists, there were no communists thousands of years ago. What did those nobles ever impart?
Only the very spiritual basis of National Socialism, a spirit that flows from mysteries the impure can never know.
What powers did Thule confer on you?
I was anointed Hexmeister when the war started.
So, limited powers. No, you are not an apprentice. Thoughtless choice of words. My apologies. Still, you have much to learn, and I can instruct you. You do know when I say magic. I'm not talking about bending spoons. But you must not talk with Fleming anymore. Understood?
I do want to learn, Herr Magyar, but how do I know you can truly help me?
Eyes closed.
Was?
Eyes closed and concentrate.
Eyes are closed.
Think of a boil. Something so inflamed and annoying you want to die. Have you found it?
Gottes Willen.
Concentrate on it.
Ja.
Now summon it.
Was?
Summon it so you may speak to it. Concentrate.
I concentrate.
Harder. Summon it.
I summon it.
Can you see it?
Beast, are you in there?
No, but I think I can hear it.
Can you see it yet?
Fleming enters.
Ja, mein Gott. How foolish I was to doubt. I will never again.
A word to you, please. Would you mind?
Of course. I shall be concentrating. Guard!
S leaves.
Just wondering, been conjuring anything lately?
I beg your pardon.
You know, summoning spirits, perhaps as part of your interrogation.
Necromancy is a myth, attempted only by charlatans more interested in raising money from pockets than spirits from the dead.
I've recently spent far more time than I ever might have expected talking with my late fiancée. My life was quite devoid of such experiences prior to meeting you. I'm having great difficulty thinking that these two facts are unrelated.
Visitations are not uncommon, but the conditions are all wrong, highly unlikely.
Then how do you explain it?
Is not the real question. How do you explain it?
I think you had something to do with it.
I advise expert psychiatric examination. I can recommend a good clinic on Harley Street.
I have to say, Beast, I tell you my dead fiancé just dropped in, yet you dismiss it out of hand. A spirit, right here, and you could not be less interested.
The spirits that interest me never walked this earth.
I did not have a hallucination.
Someone did.
Crowley leaves.
Ian, where are you? This place is bizarre. But I did find the cutest dungeon. You know what? The whips and restraints look awfully familiar. But you knew that, didn't you? Ian, come here, you naughty thing.
Fleming disappears as Sally enters, and then the lights fade out. Scene 8. In the darkness, we hear the sound of thumping. Lights rise to reveal Coward in his room at the Savoy, wadded up pieces of paper everywhere. He is banging his head on a table or perhaps the wall. And the phone rings.
Bleak House, may I help you?
No! Thank God I've reached you. Things have taken a bit of a drastic turn.
Doubtless Crowley is now at the point you'd like to ram a large uncooked pineapple up his grotto, but I'm
It's
sure...
not Crowley.
Oh. Well, then I really don't have time right now, so forgive me, but
Sally is here.
Excuse me?
Sally is here, Noel.
Sally who?
Who do you think?
Well, don't take this wrong, dear boy, but have you lost your bloody mind?
I thought I might have, but no, she's here. And I don't know what to do.
She's alive?
I'm not quite sure.
Oh, let me know when you've got it sussed. Meantime,
She thinks we can still be together.
Well, say that again.
She wants to be with me as if nothing happened. Crowley must have conjured her somehow. That sod.
Well, how fortune smiles on us when we least expect it.
I beg your pardon.
Nothing. You've talked to her.
Yes.
Penny must be going crazy.
Penny can't hear her, thank God, or see her. So far, it seems only I can.
Fabulous.
Are you listening to me?
Sweet chap, of nothing but ears. Let's first review. Dead woman somehow returns from the grave, threatening to upend the life, an upcoming marriage, of your former fiancée, correct?
Correct.
Oh, how dreadful for you.
Yes, we need to get rid of her.
No!
What?
Well, I mean, you're right, of course, yes. But we should think carefully before doing anything that might anger her. Yes. What does Crowley say?
He refuses to even acknowledge it. I may be in over my head with him.
Well, I never help anyone while I'm working, unless they contract leprosy or have twins or something. And in Scotland, I'd eat armpits before I eat haggis. It's just not something you put in your mouth on purpose. But because it's you, I shall come straight away.
Thank you. I'm again in your debt.
Oh, tut. A friend in need, you know. And don't worry, I'm already devising a stratagem.
Oh, splendid. You know how important all this is. The interrogation, the wedding. They can't fail. I'm never going to get a chance like this again.
Well, neither will I. On my way, double quick chop.
Scene 9, a hallway in the castle. Fleming enters from one side, and then Sally from the other.
Sorry, sweetie. Just wanted to tell you, the place is kind of growing on me. Especially that dungeon. Talk about a walk down memory lane.
I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, you do. And you know, it'd be a pretty sweet place to rekindle a romance. Our kind of romance.
It was always so exhausting.
Deliciously exhausting. Like that weekend in Wales, when I surprised you with a bottle of your favorite bubbly and showed you a new way to drink it.
That was interesting, I must say.
And for 2 solid days, we did nothing but laugh and love in that cozy cottage and sometimes talk about the future.
Yeah. Yes, it was extraordinary. Oh, God, I can't be thinking of this. We shouldn't be thinking of this.
Why do you have to be like Dr. No all the time?
Who?
The quack I used to see. No booze, no drinks, no bondage. How about a little accentuating the positive?
I'm not the same person, Sally.
Since when?
Things change. Things like a war come along.
You always laughed at death.
When you've actually seen what it does, it makes you think twice.
Well, I'm not going to die on you, honey, am I? And if you die, so much the better.
Well, that's downright ghoulish. I'm due for a meeting.
Hope it's not with your secretary.
Adjutant.
Whatever. She seems pretty busy. She's about to get married, isn't she?
What makes you think that?
She was just fussing over a bunch of lists, from what I could tell. Looked like names for invitations, seating arrangements, that kind of stuff. And something about a white gown on order, like she's some virgin. Can tell by looking, that go-kart's got a lot of miles on it.
It could be an evening gown.
I hope so, because I sure wouldn't want to be the groom.
Why not?
She's already got something on the side.
Lieutenant Money is known for her unimpeachable honesty and integrity, from which one can infer impregnable fidelity and chastity.
All I can tell you is she was desperately trying to get some guy called M on the phone and acting like she didn't want anyone to hear.
My dear Sally, that is why you would not make a good spy. M is her mother. They're very close, talk all the time, and she calls her M.
Then why was she saying him all the time? I need to talk to him, get him on the line.
M, him, you obviously mistook one for the other.
How would you know? You weren't there.
No, I wasn't, but if her mother were indeed a man, do you think she would have mentioned how unusual that might be?
Have it your way. I really don't care as long as you're not M, or her husband-to-be. But I know that's not possible.
At some point, we really do need to have a conversation, but now, unfortunately, is not the time.
Of course, big boy. You go and save the world. I'll catch up with you later.
Where are you going?
Big place you've got here. So much to see.
Sally's out, and then Fleming leaves. Scene 10. Crowley's chamber, working through various yoga poses as Coward enters.
You here now? Thought you weren't preoccupied excreting more of your penetrating insight into the human condition.
Oh, pleasure to see you too. Still in the research phase, actually.
Research? You?
Well, I resist the instinct for brilliant riposte only because the matter I'm writing about is quite important. The occult.
Didn't you say the occult was all a bit silly?
Oh, that was Ian. I confess I know little about it. Hence I seek counsel from the foremost occult expert known to man.
The beast does not gratify a frivolous curiosity. Certainly not one that thinks magic consists of extracting rabbits from hats.
Frivolous, hardly. I'm as serious as the North Star. I say, that's good, isn't it?
Sirius is the Dog Star. Polaris is the North Star. Your pun fails.
You see my need then?
Not that I'm interested, but what specifically?
Well, conjuring a spirit from another side. How does one do it?
Talk to your sidekick. He seems convinced someone's been holding seances around here.
Surely there must be other ways than a seance? More original ways?
Oh, so you want original. You want to take notes.
No, no need. I have the memory of an elephant. In fact, elephants consult me.
Well, the one, you need the Bell of Gradius.
What's that?
Something one makes. Have it cast from an alloy of 7 metals. Engrave on it the hour and day of birth of the person whose spirit you wish to summon, plus the names of the seven relevant planetary spirits in the ancient Tetragrammaton. On the handles must be written the names of Adonai and Jesus. Wrap it in green taffeta, bury it in a cemetery. A week later, dress in the robes of a magician, dig it up, hold it in your left hand, and ring it. Presto, the dead appears.
Digging up a bell on stage every night. I don't think he would go for it.
Who?
Oh, Binky Beaumont, my producer.
You're produced by an adult with a child's name. How appropriate. Well, the seance is looking all better by the minute, I suspect.
Do spirits actually respond?
Never. Not the seances, or even the sodding bell. If you want necromancy that works, you have only the account of the Witch of Endor summoning the Shade of Samuel in the Old Testament, and I leave you to any judgment on the value of that book as a grimoire. My advice would be to get a real one. The Sworn Book of Hieronymus is probably as good as it gets.
But spirits do exist, don't they?
All manner of spirits. Just don't expect them to RSVP to your seance.
What about sending a spirit back? How does one do that?
By marshaling and focusing all of one's thoughts and energies, one's will, on the telos.
The what?
Telos, Greek, look it up. Now, should the spirit possess a strong will to remain, great power will be required. Dangerous power.
Such as?
What generates the most spiritual energy from the greatest steps? The sexual act. When one is whirling from intense pleasure as the body surges for its aching release, writhing and whirling until it can stand no longer, and a volcano of orgasm erupts. That is power. And when it is yoked into an act of will, with the will focused completely on the telos, well, I tell you, anything is possible, sir. The very moon, at your bidding, will fall blood red from the sky.
I see. Does one does this alone or with a partner?
When I was a boy and discovered the joys of autoerotic stimulation, my pious mother, who raised me on a steady diet of cold-boiled Jesus, tried to beat it out of me. But I thought here was a sin worth sinning, and therefore applied myself with characteristic vigor to its practice. But I soon discovered its pleasures could not rival the power of two bodies and wills in perfect sexual congress, focused on the same telos.
Sounds like an obscene form of meditation. I rather like it.
One other matter. The party with the objective, in your case, the party wanting the spirits gone, must be the spirit party penetrated, while chanting the objective loudly. The beast is so glad he could be of service.
Crowley leaves.
Such an obtuse man. Still, I wonder if he could learn lines and take direction.
Scene 11, Fleming's office. Fleming ducks in as if trying to avoid someone. Then Penny enters.
There you are. I've been looking all over. Where have you been?
I'm sorry, darling. This Hess business is quite demanding.
For all of us, dear, but certainly we have a moment. Look! The invitations came in this morning. I think they're quite perfect.
I completely agree. Why don't we put them in a drawer?
A minute, please.
Sally enters and will try to get a look at the invitations. Fleming will manage to block her way, though.
We don't want to lose any or get them dirty.
Do you have some uncontrollable urge to learn modern ballet?
I'm just anxious to get back to work, that's all.
Commander Fleming, be advised that you must get control of yourself soon. Do I need to remind you of your mission? And you really need to be who you normally are for the wedding.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And be assured there's nothing to worry about.
Dear. Oh, dear, dear, dear.
Sally slips past Fleming. Penny is almost out the door when Sally grabs an invitation and sees it.
You lying rat! You lying rat bastard!
Please calm down.
Calm down! When were you going to tell me? When you said I do right in front of me?
I was going to tell you.
Why do you want to humiliate me?
I want nothing of the sort.
Why else bring me here?
I didn't bring you here.
You want to ruin my life after death? All I can say is watch out.
Sally leaves.
I will not be threatened. Certainly not by a bloody corpse that can't be pleasured without leg irons and...
And what, darling?
How did it?
Blackout. End of Act 1. Act 2, Scene 1. Fleming's office, Fleming and Coward.
How did it go? What happened?
Told him my new play involved the occult. Asked how to get rid of a spirit.
Brilliant. And what that beastly bastard tell you?
Well, it involves a great deal of focus, concentration, apparently.
I'm good at that.
Well, it works best if two people are working in tandem, so to speak, concentrating together.
Wonderful. Well, you can be the other person.
Well, yes, but they need to be in close proximity.
Even better. You're already here. Shall we begin?
Closer.
How close?
Coward whispers in Fleming's ear.
Could you say that again, please?
Coward whispers again.
He must be joking, mocking us.
It did occur to me, but he seemed quite serious. Oh, who wouldn't be about such a thing?
That's his idea of magic. The very thought is perfectly horrendous, disgusting even.
Well, now there's no need for that kind of language. You must admit, it does sound intriguing. Well, intellectually, of course.
Oh, well, what am I going to do?
Well, the first thing is to keep this contained for now. As in a play, you must deal with just one crisis at a time. Otherwise, the audiences get confused.
It's too late. I had a row with Sally, and Penny overheard it, or at least my half of it.
How'd she take it?
Not well.
Oh, that must be an extraordinary scene. You must tell me everything you both said, every word, while it's still fresh in mind.
But I need to convince her.
Oh, in good time, dear boy. Now, what did you and Sally row about?
She found out about the wedding.
Oh, you cannot do a thing until you tell me what happened.
They exit. Scene 2. Outdoors, Penny trying to calm herself. Crowley enters.
Gracious lady, you seem upset. Among my greatest powers is helping the spirit attain the highest degrees of inner peace.
If it involves talking to spirits, particularly dead spirits, I should be enormously grateful to know how such a thing is done, and why.
Commander Fleming himself has informed me he is at present in communication with such a spirit. He is formally betrothed, is it not?
Yes, he's American. He says she is here, but only he can see or hear her. Is it possible, or is he mad? I absolutely must know where I stand with a man regarding his mental health.
Spirits communicate with us all the time. We simply don't always know they are.
Why would it not show itself to everyone? It reeks of ill breeding. I should probably get back to work.
Mistress, if you allow, stand still, close your eyes, and breathe deeply. Please. Concentrate on nothing other than the sound of my voice.
Very well, for a minute or two.
Let your arms fall gently to your sides palms forward, eyes closed. Feel the relaxation from the very center of your palms to your fingertips.
As such?
Perfection you are, dear lady. You'll recall our conversation on the other day about Hatha Yoga.
Oh, yes. It has been in the back of my mind ever since. For some reason.
We now summon it to the fore. Slowly, though. Savor the thoughts as they penetrate and pass through every mental pathway, caressing your neurons. Have they arrived?
Oh my. Indeed.
The first and foremost thing to know about yoga is that the word means union. Think of two objects uniting.
Oh, I am.
When you perform yoga, your true will is to consummate marriage with the universe.
Oh, God.
We must allow ourselves physical freedom and openness. Arms stretched out, feet spread slightly more than shoulder width apart. Feel how most of the body's routes of physical ingress are now in a position of relaxed receptivity.
Yes.
Now, let every orifice breathe, not just your mouth or nose.
Oh, the fresh air. How it tingles everywhere.
We do not shield ourselves from the world of sensations. We let it in.
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 Out.
Out.
And in.
And out.
And in.
And out.
Fleming enters.
Just exactly what is going on here?
Sorry, did you say something?
I merely asked what was going on. I think I'm within my rights to do so.
The solicitous beast here was simply trying to calm my recently rattled nerves.
Sounded quite the opposite to the common clay of mind.
Don't start that again, Ian. Hearing things that are not there.
Tell her I'm not imagining any of this. This or Sally.
Oh, Ian, please stop.
Sally enters, careful not to let Fleming see her.
You failed, sir, like the infamous angry blind men of Nepal, striking at everything and anything he imagines near him, blaming them for the pitiful fact he cannot see, when in truth he has sealed his own eyes shut.
Tell me you've done nothing, whatsoever nothing that could have caused this. Not a single bit of hocus pocus open sesame bollocks.
I will acknowledge that the fit of pique at you, sir, and provoked by you, I may have invoked a certain spell of Egyptian antiquity that can be effective if summoned with sufficient rigorous anger. But it was not conjuring, per se.
What kind of spell?
The Sethian Boketia, roughly translated as the ritual reversing greatest earthly happiness.
I knew it! I just knew it.
Greatest happiness?
Christ!
My head through the goddamned windshield was your greatest earthly happiness?
I was not happy that you died.
Ian?
At such moments, best leave a man to be.
Penny and Crowley leave.
So it's just a coincidence. He casts the spell and I show up. I knew you didn't mourn me long, Ian, but happy? How could you?
I was not happy. I swear to you.
I was just going to ruin your wedding. Now it's your life. I'm going to haunt your treacherous ass forever.
It's not fair. I wasn't happy when you died.
Well, at least I don't feel so bad anymore.
About what?
Peter,
What about Peter?
what do you think?
No!
Oh, yes.
You!
Oh, don't play the poor victim. You know damn well why I did it.
I can't imagine anything I ever did that could warrant such vicious betrayal.
How about sleeping with my friends?
It was just one friend, and one time. I had too much to drink, and she looked like you.
I could say the same about Peter.
It was stupid. I know, but I brought you flowers. I brought you presents. I wept at your feet and begged forgiveness.
And I eventually forgave you because you were my greatest happiness, which is why your rotten, limey goose is cooked.
Sally leaves.
Of all the men in England to sleep with, you couldn't have found anyone else? For God's sake.
Penny enters.
Ian,
Oh, God. How much did you hear?
I'm only going to say this once. Take a few deep breaths, fix yourself a cup of tea, and get started on finding a decent doctor to come figure out what's wrong with you. And until we have an answer, I am postponing the wedding.
No!
No argument, please. Now, I need to let Papa know immediately. You wish to inform your mother, or shall I?
Oh, God, oh, God, oh, God.
Right. I'll call her.
Penny leaves. Scene 3. Fleming's office. Coward is looking over his notes.
Act 1. The spirit of a man's deceased wife suddenly appears. No one but he can hear or see her, leading everyone, especially his new fiancée, to think he has either lost his mind or is playing a cruel trick. Well, I can certainly make hay out of that for a while. But why has she come back? Well, probably because she's a masochist. That's not going to sell any tickets. And how has she come back? Clearly, I need more material. Balls.
Fleming enters.
You'll never believe what has happened. It's bloody awful.
There is a God.
Penny postponed the wedding. Sally swore to torment me forever, and I was right. Crowley did bring her here for the most repugnant reason.
Oh, there is a God, and he loves me more than anyone else.
And on top of that, Sally cheated on me with Peter. Peter!
More than his own son.
Are you listening to me?
Accurately, dear boy. But you must admit, you're the verbal equivalent of cubism at the moment.
We've got to get rid of her, Noel. She said she's going to haunt my rotten limey goose, and it's cooked. And she'll haunt my treacherous ass for the rest of my life.
As colorful as always, bless her heart. How I've missed her. You absolutely must send for me next time she comes round.
Do you mind?
Oh, sorry. You were saying?
We've got to send her back.
Well, there might be one person who can help.
Who?
Hess.
Who?
Oh, the prisoner.
Oh, right, him. Listen to me. She's distracting me from my mission. She's got to go.
Well, Hess is practiced in the occult, is he not?
Maybe he could do something. And maybe we could get him to talk at the same time.
Shall we find out?
You're a genius.
Oh, and the sky is blue. Now, I must insist you tell me everything that happened, every detail. It will help you calm down.
They leave. Scene 4. The interrogation room. Crowley and Hess are in poses suggesting either an occult ceremony or extreme yoga.
Vera Via.
Magic. Magick. Original spelling. For original purpose.
Quad S.
the means of perfecting man's imperfect soul, so that it rises in steps to the true God, not the God of the Bible, a fraud and a failure who created a world full of evil, the true God, the supreme reality.
Quod finem ultima.
To enter the sanctum of the secret chiefs who prepare the initiate for ultimate reunion with the true God and the revelation of one's true will.
I, the beast 666, Adeptus Eximus Bus, do hereby confer on thee the status of 5th degree grade Philosophus at the very portal of the first inner order. Iam abet ut.
Danke, Herr Magier. Vielen Dank.
It's a shame. But it's yourself you should thank. You have learned well, and you have learned quickly. The remaining instruction is quantitatively not much, but it will require the greatest effort.
How soon can I will my message to the Duke?
Immediately. But it will take great concentration, and you will likely fail. You're just beginning. But you should start exercising the muscles right away, and you will likely have more chance of success with a shorter message than a longer one. Is yours long?
It could be.
Perhaps I could help. What is exactly what you wish to convey to the Duke?
I do not know if I should reveal.
We are alone, Herr Philosophus Hess. We are alone, and we are endeavoring to expedite your training as a magician.
Well, the Fuhrer wants peace, but only if...
Fleming and Coward burst in.
Well, seems we have arrived just in time, didn't we?
You, sir, are an idiot.
I think you've insulted me enough, don't you?
Not an insult, merely an observation.
Do let me remind you that I do the observing around here, and I observe that you're not supposed to be here right now. How did you get in?
No well-bred sorcerer enters a room by the door. Continue with the yoga. It is the foremost means of building the physical and mental discipline necessary for magical workings.
Magical workings?
Crowley leaves.
Yeah.
Oh my, sounds beyond words exciting. I should like to see that.
I do not know you. Are you a parasite?
A what?
Semite, gypsy, mental defective.
I am afraid not.
You look like a parasite.
It's the lighting.
Bloody hell, my fault. Reichsfuhrer Hess, allow me to introduce one of England's national treasures.
Ah, your brother.
No, this is Noel Coward, aide-de-camp to Winston Churchill himself and celebrated author of numerous
sensationally popular reviews and stage pieces.
Reviews and stage pieces. We banned such decadent rubbish.
From what I remember seeing in Berlin, you were absolutely right.
So, your magical workings. How about a demonstration?
I have pain, hurt in my side. I need medicine.
Later, you bloody hypochondriac. Answer the question.
I am 5th degree grade Philosophus, soon to be 6th degree. My capabilities are vast.
Well, that sounds enormously impressive. I'm sure we'd all love a show.
So what do I care?
Did I forget to say, this is the man I told you about, who knows every British royal.
What is it you wish to see?
Whether you can, say, expel a spirit from the premises.
There is a spirit you wish gone. It is merely a matter of ritual.
Wonderful.
I did not say I would do it. What is the man who looks like a parasite going to do for me?
Sorry, old boy. Can't let you see the Duke just yet.
Then you lie. This man does not help me. I must see the Duke. Time is running out.
You do realize we can persuade you to cooperate. It wouldn't be pleasant, I must say.
Torture? Finally.
We don't like to call it that.
I respect torture, but it still does you no good.
Only one way to find out.
Take me to the Duke soon, and I will perform the ritual. Until then, I will be in my cell, suffering back pain. Guard!
Hess leaves.
Bloody arrogant bastard. Maybe I will torture him.
Well, before you do that,
What?
well, if it really is a mere matter of ritual, it might behoove us to find out which one. Crowley mentioned something, a grimoire, I think, a particular one. A call to the British Library ought to yield the precise tome, and we can easily get it delivered. There's still the Penny problem, however. You will need her on your side.
I was thinking, maybe I should prove to her that Sally really is here.
Another idea that should have been mine.
Question is, how? Sally certainly is not going to cooperate.
Unless she has a good reason to.
And what would that be?
Oh, dear boy, that is precisely the sort of plot problem I solve all the time. And solving life's problems is infinitely easier than solving a real plot. One often leads to the other, I find.
Oh, no. You always know what to do.
Oh, extraordinary, isn't it? Well, let's take a walk together and discuss.
They exit. Scene 5. Fleming's office. Penny is alone.
All I can say is, if it's all an act, it's a damned good one. But why? What for? Yes, sir, he still believes he has a mission, thank God.
Enter Fleming.
Well, thank you for understanding, dearest M. I love you too, and my love to Papa.
And how is your mother?
Very concerned, like me. Found a doctor yet?
Not yet. I've made calls, of course.
Very good. Well, I should,
Penny, please, a moment.
Not if you're going to start talking rot again.
Promise?
Quickly then.
May I just ask, what if Sally really were here?
And only you can hear and see her.
Quite right.
If such a hypothetical premise were indeed true, there is really only one hypothetical conclusion to draw.
And that is?
We are clearly, without realizing it, in a bad play.
A bad play?
Whenever dramatic authors don't know what to do, they haul in a ghost. Why? Simply to provide the cheapest means of scoring the easiest laughs. Quite a lack of imagination, if you ask me.
Good God. So Hamlet is a bad play?
Don't be silly. Not on the whole. But why is it, at the beginning, the ghost is visible to the palace guards, the servants, for God's sake, but then not to his treacherous widow, whom he has every reason to haunt? What sense does that make? And what does the ghost really do, other than tell his son, "You must avenge me"? Now, the boy came home because his father mysteriously died, only to find his mother already wedded to his lecherous uncle before the body was even cold. Does he really need a ghost to tell him something's rotten in Denmark? He's a university student, isn't he? What's he been studying? Clearly not logic.
Are you saying that if Sally were here, you would think she's nothing but a second-rate imagination?
Sally enters.
Ian, I'm saying she exists only in your imagination. Still, to humor you, the man I love, I will say, if the spirit of Sally were indeed here, I would simply be gracious and welcome her.
you wouldn't be frightened?
Why should I be? I seriously doubt she would want to create any mischief with me.
Oh, she might be frightened of you.
If she knows what's good for her. I am generous to a fault, but I am not to be trifled with.
So, if Sally were to, say, lift a stack of papers from the desk and carry them across the room, you wouldn't be the least bit unhinged.
There's nothing she could ever do to unhinge me. I would dare her to even try.
Well, you needn't concern yourself, as I'm sure Sally would know better than to trifle with you.
That's the most sensible thing you've said all day, darling.
Sally grabs the box of invitations, throws them in the air. Penny dashes out. Fleming goes after her.
Bloody bullocks.
Oh, I so hate it when people swear and I don't know why. It's like hearing the punchline, but not the joke.
Penny believes me now.
Well, tell me everything immediately.
Things get worse by the minute. She even thinks Shakespeare's rather blithe with spirits.
Zounds! That could be like the title of my next play, Blithe Spirit.
I believe Shelley already used it.
Oh, when was the last time anyone read Shelley? Now, tell me what happened, every detail.
The short of it is, poor Penny got the fight of her life. I'm surprised you didn't hear her shriek.
I did, but assumed it was the sound of consummated reconciliation.
No such luck. She was terrified, Noel.
Oh, I believe Penny's made of sterner stuff than you think.
That's just a facade. The face she shows the world, but I know her. Delicate as an orchid. She has the mind of a woman, but deep inside her is the innocence of...
Out!
In!
Out!
In!
Out!
In!
Out!
I don't think that was innocence deep inside her.
Fleming dashes out. Lights go black. Scene 6. Outside. Lights rise on Penny. Then Fleming races in.
Oh, hello, darling.
I demand to know what the hell is going on.
I beg your pardon.
Penny, you may think I'm a few sandwiches short of a picnic, but I'm not stupid.
Ian, what are you talking about?
What was all that moaning and shouting?
God, not that again.
With that Crowley.
What? Look around. Do you see him?
Yeah, he probably just left.
He was here a while ago, simply helping me regather my wits. I don't even remember seeing him go.
I'm sure he saw you come.
I don't think I like your tone.
He didn't touch you.
Don't be absurd.
You will understand if I say that none of this makes any sense.
You have your paranormal experiences, I have mine.
Well, I did subject you to quite a jolt.
That doesn't begin to describe it.
I'm deeply sorry, Pen, honest.
Ian, it isn't you who should apologize. It is I.
What?
Sally enters, unseen by Fleming.
You've been telling the truth all along, and I didn't believe you. I'm so sorry, my love. The agony you must be in with her around. You are in agony.
Absolutely tormented. But now that I know that we are one again, it's going to be so much easier dealing with her. And please say the wedding is back on.
I should think so. She is not going to deprive me of you. Perhaps we could repair to some place we can simply comfort each other for a while. I have missed you so.
Absolutely. I know the perfect spot.
Where?
In the depths of this palace, a sort of dungeon, where I suspect ungentlemanly things once took place. But it does have its own charm. No one ever goes there. The stairs are tricky, but once inside, you're alone in the world.
Sounds like exactly what we need.
As they exit, Sally follows them, careful to stay out of Fleming's view. Lights fade down into darkness.
All right, down here. Follow me.
Oh, don't get too far ahead.
Careful.
I see what you mean about the stairs.
Oh!
Scene 7. Hess's cell. He's in a yoga pose. Coward enters.
Purnam Ada, Purnam Idam, Purnat, Purnam Udakiate, der Duke of Hamilton, Scheisse.
Well, guten Tag to you too.
Concentration is not yet strong enough. Focus. I must try again.
Well, I hate to interrupt, old boy, but this ritual you mentioned when we met, which one is it exactly?
Why should I tell you?
Well, I've got this book, you see, a grimoire, positively full of rituals, dealing with everything from mortal enemies to halitosis.
Do not trifle with forces you do not understand.
I'm certainly no fifth-degree philosopher, such as yourself.
Philosophus.
Precisely. But I have done research into the occult quite seriously, and I thought perhaps you'd save me some time identifying the ritual. In return, I could, say, suggest ways you might get the Duke's attention. He's a very busy man, you know, not likely to respond to just any magical working. I know his interests quite well.
Curly enters.
Ah, Herr Mergier, you arrive at a very intriguing moment.
He always does. Are you staying along? I can't quite hear you, Alistair. Are you staying long? Well, Alistair, I couldn't quite understand what you said there. Must be some magical, mystical, but we couldn't quite hear that. Are you staying long?
It is almost as if he is mute.
Yes, it must be some magical spell or curse.
Longer than you, in fact. You might as well leave now because Herr Hess, upon my instruction, is about to enter the realm of Adeptus Minimus, the powers of which will alleviate him beyond the worth of anything you could ever do for him.
Today?
Why, I should very much like to witness such a thing.
So you can debase and trivialize it in one of your little plays? No, sir. Your interest is no more than Puritan. Prithee, get thy jollies elsewhere.
Herr Mergier, your rhetorical skills are amazing.
Have you heard anything of the like from him?
I apologize, but I must say no.
Well, no apology necessary. I've long grown immune to the bitterness of mediocrity.
My diary of a drug fiend was pure brilliance. Every issue of the Equinox I published, a literary breakthrough. What greater collection of love poems than my White Stains has ever been published in the last century? Even that leprechaun Yates was jealous.
Oh, and how many copies sold?
Art is not a balance sheet or a sixth form popularity contest.
Oh, don't be so tiresome. Of course it is. Do you think Shakespeare or Marlowe really wrote for the worthy dullards of Uxbridge? To be immortalized in a monograph, read once and stuffed into a drawer for eternity? Why in God's name do you think one of the greatest literary minds this country ever produced once said, "No one but a blockhead ever wrote except for money"?
And just think, I believe that only a mere 95% of what comes out of you could be dismissed as rubbish. I see it's 96. The remaining 4, however, is dazzling, I'm sure.
4%? That is really not very much.
Have you ever had the pleasure of visitation?
9.
Truly remarkable. His best work.
He makes a slight gesture and the lights flicker.
Well, Herr Hess, I'm sure you will understand what a sense of unrecognized genius can do to a man.
What?
All I'm trying to say, in my own special way,
Why you make rhyme?
I have no idea. It's the first time. I certainly don't want to, but seems it's all I can do. Suddenly I wish I were a mime.
A mime? We arrested all mimes.
So sorry, I don't know what's going on, but control of my own diction seems to have gone.
Enough! I have no time for such nonsense. And you, a grown man. From now on, I talk only to Dame Mergier. Now go! Schnell!
Coward leaves.
The concentration exercises?
I have been working very hard, but I still fall short.
You are getting close. Shall we begin?
Scene 8, Fleming's office. Fleming is there with his head wrapped in bandages, arm in a sling, probably a crutch as well. Coward enters.
Oh, I'm sure I'm quite a vision.
Oh, I've never seen anything like it in all of Britain. But the lamentable fact is you look like the last act of the rape of Saban women.
I beg your pardon.
Oh, please don't make me say it again. I'd really like to keep you as a friend.
I should think now is not the time for a display of your renowned verbal agility. We have some serious business to discuss, including a dire new development.
Well, I'm not trying to do it at all. That beast has me in some kind of thrall.
You mean to say Crowley is making you talk like this?
Well, when have you ever known me to publicly rhyme without production, publication, or royalty in mind?
Good point. Well, I suppose we'll still just have to deal with it.
Easy for you to say. No one's making you talk this way.
For which I consider myself extremely fortunate. Now, we have a lot to do.
First, tell me what happened to you.
I'm fairly certain Sally is trying to kill me. What you see is the result of her first attempt.
Good God, that's brilliant. I mean terrible news. Anything broken or bruised?
She about bashed my brains out falling down a flight of stairs.
Clearly you fell head first. That suggests a slip.
Actually, a trip.
And you suspect Sally's hand in there submersed?
Not her hand, her foot, or something. I swear to you, no, this was no accident.
But Sally still loves every hair on your head. Why on earth would she want you dead?
She wants us to get together again. Remember, we obviously can't be truly together here. But if I were dead...
Oh, yes. That's why has come back. Hey ho, nanny, and alack?
Surely you can do better than that. But never mind. We've got to act even more quickly now. Hess must perform the ritual.
Oh, on that I'm afraid I can't help out. Herr Hess will no longer speak to me. He can be such a hateful little kraut. He even said he can't take me seriously.
Well, we can't really blame him now, can we?
He said the same about you, and now we'll only talk with Crowley.
We've lost Hess.
More or less.
Sod it. Just sod it. Crowley's trying to take control of everything. He's even trying to get Penny, too. But at least she's still with me, and the wedding is back on, thank God. If he thinks he can just usurp me, he's got another think coming. Because as long as I have Penny, I can do anything. The girl absolutely inspires me.
Penny enters.
Darling, I was just talking about you.
That's lovely. Hello, Noel. Ian, I don't know how else to say this, so I will just say it. I'm cancelling the wedding. I can't marry you.
What? I thought we cleared things up.
In all the excitement, it went by me that I am obviously not, and never have been, your greatest happiness.
Dearest. Dearest? Oh, no, that's utter rubbish. Well, of course you are.
I don't think so. Sally was.
Penny runs off.
Someone call my name?
My life's about to go tits up again, and I just can't bear it anymore.
Ian, sweetie, I know it's you. Why don't you come with me up to the top of the tower and get some fresh air? It'll do wonders for you. And those views up there are just to die for.
I'll try anything, even if it rhymes.
You know, I caught the wireless earlier today, and I thought I heard Radio Berlin say that when it comes to Hess, Hitler now thinks he's a mess and would shoot him for running away.
Who knows if that's really true?
Well, we can't say that we do, but like us, our friend Hess can only really guess. So let's see if we can turn that like a screw.
Pray God it works. It's my last hope.
If it doesn't, I shall complain to the Pope.
Lights go black as Coward and Fleming leave. Scene 9. Darkness, we hear the squelch and squawk and static of a radio. Lights rise, revealing Fleming and Hess.
Radio Berlin is nothing but propaganda and lies. It is meant for you to believe, not us.
Sounds like Herr Hitler is repudiating you and calling you a traitor to boot. No?
I assure you, if I bring him the reply he wants, he will make me a hero of the Reich. And I expect to bring it to him very soon.
Well, I happen to think the broadcast is true, word for word. And I suppose there's only one way to find out, isn't there?
How?
Send you back.
Was?
We'll send you back and see how you are welcome. If you are hailed like a hero, then you are right. But if you are, say, arrested, then I was. How do you like that?
I must say, until I talk to the Duke, we must have peace between our countries.
There's a plane waiting for you with a crew that will strap a parachute to your back and then drop you off, if you will, where you came from. Scary thought, isn't it?
Send me back, and you have no one to perform the ritual.
If you don't perform the ritual, then you're of no use to me.
You talk like a madman. You look like one, too. All those bandages. If you send me back and you are right, you know what will happen to me. And you said you do not torture.
Why should we, when others will do it for us? But if you perform the ritual, that's different. I'll personally escort you to see the Duke. You'd like that now, wouldn't you?
How do you know? How do I know you will take me to him?
Do the ritual and maybe I don't take you. Go home and maybe you're not hailed as a hero. What chance do you prefer to take?
The spirit must be present.
Bollocks. How am I going to... Wait. Yes, I know exactly how. I think, no, your genius just might be rubbing off on me.
Ben.
Ian, where'd you get off to?
As soon as possible.
Tonight?
Tonight. Another word to the beast. Whatever you call it. Sally, where were you?
Fleming leaves. Suddenly the lights shift and go a bit dim. Hess grabs his head, goes into a deep concentration, and we hear Crowley's voice.
I have been trying to reach you.
I am sorry, Herr Megir. The fool just left.
Remember, the inverted fool can mean a transcendent ideas and thoughts. Do not underestimate a fool. Any vibrations from the Duke?
Nothing, but it is soon yet.
What did Fleming want?
Me to perform a ritual to drive away the spirit.
Good.
I hope I can do it. I never have.
Do not worry. I won't be there, but I shall watch and help if needed. Now, you do realize that once you've done his bidding, you are no longer his priority.
I must be his priority.
How long can you wait until he realizes that?
Ah,
Tell me what you want to say to the Duke. We will do the transmission together. Two magicians working as one. It's the only way to be sure.
I don't know what is best anymore. I fear there is no time left, and my back. They give me no medicine. Oh, God is willing. There is one condition to the Führer's peace offer, and it is...
Blackout. Scene 10, lights arise on the hallway in the castle with Sally and Fleming.
Well, you're singing a different tune.
No use denying it. I thought I was over losing you, but I've come to see I've just been pretending.
Well, that certainly warms a dead heart, Ian. But what about Sourpuss?
Penny has been extraordinarily gracious and understanding and has stepped aside.
God, I love the English. So what do we do, lover boy?
I've been thinking of what you said. You know, different ways to be together.
Oh, it'll be different, but we'll figure it out, won't we?
I may already have. There's an expert here on these matters, a man thoroughly versed in the occult, particularly the afterlife. He's told me there's a way I can travel with you back to the other side without having to die.
No.
Yes. Seems like all we have to do is partake in a ceremony, a very ancient, very mystical, that effectively binds our souls together.
Sounds like a wedding.
In a way it is. Once we're joined, I will actually be able to feel you again. And whenever your spirit leads, I can follow. In fact, the ritual will transport us to the other side together.
Are you ready for that? It's a big adjustment. Sort of like living in New Jersey.
Well, he says I can come back if I want, but I admit I'm fascinated to see what it's like.
Ha, cha, cha, cha. So when do we get married?
In a few hours.
Ooh, I can't wait. Except I don't have anything else to wear.
You look wonderful, darling.
I don't know if this will work, but let's give it a try.
She tries to kiss him.
How's that?
Like a summer breeze across my lips. Now, I must work. Be in my office at midnight.
Try and stop me.
Blackout. Scene 11. Thunder, lightning, rain. Lights rise on Fleming's office. Hess is checking his ceremonial clothing. Penny is hauling in a lectern with a grimoire on it.
There. That should work.
Everything will need to work.
Fleming enters with his bandages, and Coward comes in. Both are carrying candles.
Yes, all right there, perfect. Thank you. Yes, I'm welcome. I know. Please don't say much. Don't you think? Could be distracting.
Oh, unless I needed, I shall be standing silently out of the way. like a dashing mute, one might say.
Brilliant. Pen, I can't thank you enough for pitching in.
If I can help put an end to all this distress, I'm happy. Think of it as a parting gift.
I refuse to accept we won't be married. You simply must let me explain, but first things first. How goes it, mein Herr?
The collar is tight. The waist, too. Not good for twitching muscles.
Well, it ought not to take long.
Sally enters carrying a bouquet of flowers.
Gott im Himmel.
I know she's holding them, but flowers floating in the air, still a bit to get used to.
Don't mean to scare anybody. Just thought they'd be nice, like I'm a bride. Picked them myself. What do you think?
It's a nice touch.
Good. What's she doing here?
Lieutenant Money has kindly offered to assist.
Wow, she is a good sport.
Miss Benson wishes you to know that she appreciates your help.
Please inform Miss Benson it is entirely my pleasure to help her return from whence she came.
I could almost like her, except for the sarcasm, and the fact she tried to steal you.
Yes, I'm sure.
I don't wish to be impertinent, Commander Fleming, but it is considered impolite to conduct one-sided conversations in the presence of others.
Yes, of course. My apologies. Miss Benson was merely remarking on your immense likability and consummate graciousness.
Let's not get carried away.
We need to get started.
Is that Noel?
Ah, yes.
Dearest Noel, I must say hello.
You can't.
Why not? Oh.
Tell the dear girl if she's asking about me, that I so wish I could talk to her and see how she has been low these years, since she left us so soon and with so many tears.
Oh, Noel. Still the charmer. Not sure about the poetry, but tell him I appreciate the sentiments.
I will.
Commander Fleming.
Oh, yes. Places, everyone.
Invocationem, by the figurative mystery of these holy vestures, I am clothed in the armor of salvation, in the strength of the Most High. O Adonai, unto whom praise and glory will forever belong. Veniet ad sanctum sanctorum.
Let it be done as it is said.
Hail Ra that goes in thy bark into the caverns of the dark. East of the altar, see me stand with blood and light in mine hand.
Let it be done as it is said.
Thunder gets louder.
Let the supplicant face east and say, Pater et Mater, unus Deus ariata.
Pater et Mater, unus Deus ariata.
Let him turn west and say, Ah, Scheisse.
I don't think that's quite right. Oh my God.
Oh my God!
What the hell is he saying?
I believe he is experiencing an attack of sciatica.
Now?
It does tend to strike without warning. I have an uncle who suffers from it.
He can't stop now.
Storm is raging.
Best to let him lie perfectly flat and still.
But the ritual.
Yeah, the ritual. We've got places to go.
Well, you can finish it, Ian. I'll have to tend to him. Geneva Convention, you know?
Oh, for God's sake.
Quick, Ian, before we lose the chance.
What do I... Oh, God. Let him turn west and say, Bilius et Bilia unus Deus arita. Let him know how to make the sign of the holy hexagram.
The storm bellows.
I don't think it's working.
You can do it, Ian. Stay with it.
Behold this bleeding beast of mine, gashed and rent with sacramental sign. I stanch the blood, the wafer it soaks, and now the high priest solemnly invokes, there is no grace, there is no guilt, this is the law. Do what thou wilt.
Huge crash of thunder, lightning, rain, knocking out lights, the sound of shattering windows. Stage is completely dark.
Your part now, Sally. Repeat, nullus locus est instar domus.
Nullus locus est instar domus.
Keep repeating.
Nullus locus est instar domus. Nullus locus est instar domus. Hey, what's happening?
What?
It's like I'm floating.
You are? Oh, keep repeating. Nullus locus.
But you're not with me.
I will be. Just keep repeating.
Nullus loc. Ian, where are you?
Keep repeating.
Why aren't you? You bastard! You're not coming.
You'll thank me one day, Sally. It would have never worked out. Ow!
We'll never know, will we? One thing I do know, your brother was better.
Storm quickly dies down. Lights flicker once or twice, then come back on.
Sally? Are you here? Sally? You're gone. Ha! I did it. I bloody well did it. She's gone. I did it. I did it. You saw it, no? I did it. And you can call me dear Magyar too now.
I wish to see the Duke now.
I don't think so.
You promised. I did the ritual.
Not entirely.
Without me, there was no ritual.
And without me, there was no complete ritual. So I don't think our agreement still stands.
There's no time for nonsense. My country could die.
Try not to.
Try not to overexcite yourself, sir. Sciatica can be more than a little unforgiving. Shall we call a doctor?
Do not need a doctor. I need the Duke.
Sorry, old man. If we see the Duke, it'll be when I say so, and not before.
Spoken like a man truly in charge.
Thank you. But as the Yanks like to say, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Oh, my.
Crowley enters.
Oh, look who's here.
I couldn't help but hear commotion in the dew.
Too late, beast. You've missed it all.
And what exactly did I miss?
Nothing less than the minting of a new magician. Me.
You.
Banished a spirit, didn't I? An unwanted and recalcitrant spirit, I should add. Sent her on her way by myself.
Can this be true?
Regrettably, yeah. I started but could not finish.
I owe you an apology, dear fellow. Until now, I thought all this was nothing but mumbo-jumbo, hocus-pocus. Little did I realize the powers within me. But it looks like I found my true will, haven't I?
Indeed, sir. Until now, I thought you were little more than a character escaped from one of your Mr. Howard's plays. And so I say unto thee, hail, brother wizard. I greet in you, if not a master, at least a practitioner not unworthy of my esteem.
That's rather decent of you, Beast. Thank you. Still, if you wish to continue to be part of this venture, you must assume your proper place on the team.
Ian, it's simply magnificent to see you like this again, but also bittersweet. Forgive me, but I must leave now.
Penny, wait. There's every reason for us to be married, if only you would see it. Sally's return wasn't the undoing of my greatest unhappiness. It was your breaking our engagement. She was merely the catalyst, and I've been miserable ever since.
Can it be true?
Dearest Pen, say we shall be together.
Well, the preparations haven't yet been cancelled. Would be ashamed to let them go to waste.
Wonderful. Now, be a good girl and watch as I wring from our prisoner what I want to know, because I need no one's help now at all. Lieutenant Commander Ian Fleming is in charge and about to make his mark.
It's obvious my presence is no longer of any use. With your permission, sir, I shall take my leave.
No, sorry you feel that way, Beast, but I certainly understand.
One request before I go. I should very much like to apologize directly to the Prime Minister for failing him. It is doubtless the only chance I will have to speak to the great man. Just a brief, pitiful call, sir.
Why, Beast, you move me to my very core. I believe I'm inclined. Oh, right. Before that, I must insist you lift whatever it was you cast upon our poor old friend here.
I did nothing in some way that was not willing to be done. Still, if it makes you feel better.
Thank God. It's like being able to breathe again.
So good to have you back to a state in which rhyming is strictly voluntary. Penny, will you please put in a call for Beast?
Oh, astonishing. A mere wave of the hand and everything changes.
Indeed.
And absolutely amazing how you've brought the Beast to heel. I never thought I'd live to see the day when he would apologize for anything.
Certainly not his style, is it?
Not in the least.
No, not in the least.
What is it, Ian?
It's not his style. Step away from that telephone, sir. Step away this instant, I say. And Penny, stop the call now.
Darling, are you all right?
Humility is a language he doesn't speak. And I should have realized it. But I've been too distracted by my supernatural talents, which I'm sure you counted on. And it almost worked, you devil.
Ian, I have no idea where this extraordinary reassertion of self is headed, but I must say it is thoroughly invigorating.
He wants to speak to the PM, whatever for, unless he already knows what the prisoner has to say to the Duke. And he's going to tell Mr. Churchill himself and claim the credit.
How utterly ungracious. I must admit, how very clever.
Yes, it was very clever of him.
You wound the Beast with such accusations.
The telephone rings.
Finally, der Duke.
Penny, would you be so kind?
Special Operations Lieutenant Money. Oh, hello, M. Yes. Really?
I say, Pen, do you think you could call your mother back? Or my mother, whichever.
I see. That is very interesting. Yes. Yes, I'll take care of everything. Thank you. Ian, I am so proud of you.
May I ask why?
Hitler has broken his peace treaty with Stalin and invaded the Soviet Union.
Nein, nein. Alles ist verloren.
I don't understand.
We can all go home now, thanks to you. Wonderful you. We must celebrate.
Pen, I'm afraid you really lost me. Could we start with how one of our mothers, no Hitler, has invaded the Soviet Union before we do?
That wasn't either of our mothers. That was the Prime Minister.
But you said hello, M. I definitely heard.
Yes, his code name. I came up with the idea that M would be my mother, but it was really him.
Whatever for?
Operational secrecy, of course.
What operation?
This one, darling, yours.
Do you have a code name?
Depends on who I'm with and what I'm doing, doesn't it? But for this, not that I know of.
Well, I don't know why anyone has a code name, and I don't see what Germany's latest poor behavior has to do with trying to find out why Herr Hess wants to talk to the Duke.
Why, to cut a peace deal, of course. What else?
But that's just been rot. We know that.
No, darling, we pretended to believe it was. But the PM was certain all along that Herr Hess was indeed here for a peace deal, and there could only be one reason why. Herr Hitler struck peace with Russia simply to avoid a two-front war. Peace with us could only mean the same in reverse. He wants to turn around and attack Russia. Judging by Herr Hess's reaction to the news, I'd say the PM was right.
Culture is lost, and it is your fault, all of you.
Oh, why talk to the bloody Duke then, and not the PM?
Mr. Churchill has made it quite clear he doesn't trust Herr Hitler as far as he could throw him. No disrespect. But a lot of royals would take his word. The only thing is, they would have to oust the PM and put one of their own in place. That is likely what Herr Hess wanted to convey to the Duke.
Indeed. We was to tell the Duke that peace would be guaranteed only if he and the rest of the House of Lords sacked Mr. Churchill.
So you did know. And you were going to steal the credit just like I said.
But you kept him from the Duke. And Herr Hitler lost patience and invaded Russia anyway, proving to everyone his peace treaties are worthless. It's total war. All is right with the world. I am so happy for you, darling.
Did you know any of this?
Most certainly not. I was under the impression I was the PM's liaison.
You've actually been the liaison?
Indeed. But you're the hero. I am so proud of you. Now, can we celebrate?
Not quite. To say I'm flummoxed, well, I think I've been selected to run one of the most important operations of the war, the chance of a lifetime, to prove myself in my own right as my own man with a purpose and destiny, finally. Only to find out I've been little more than a pawn.
We all serve in different ways. And you've been an outstanding pawn, darling.
I thought I knew what I was doing here, but I don't. I thought I knew what you were doing here. Suddenly you're talking like a stranger. Are you even petty money?
I suppose it can be said now. No, darling. The name's Bond. Jane Bond.
God.
That's all that's different. Otherwise, I'm still the same. Penny was just my code name.
Lieutenant Bond?
Full commander, actually.
You outrank me.
An advantage I shall never exploit.
Don't tell me I didn't even banish Sally myself, did I?
Sorry, no. But at least you've discovered your true will. Pawn to a woman.
Early exits.
Well, I must find out how he does that. Can you just imagine it as a stage effect?
Shall we finalize our plans for the wedding, dear?
There will be no wedding.
What are you talking about? Minutes ago, you were begging me to marry you.
Suddenly, it seems marriage might be a lot like spying. You don't know who someone really is until you're at a considerable disadvantage. At least in spying, one is remunerated for it. I can now see my destiny is a solitary one. I shall go to the world over, a lonely spy in disguise, although always well dressed, serving his country doing whatever necessary. Completely devil-may-care, and women may simply be a means to an end. What do you think, Noel? Marital domesticity, or a life of international intrigue combined with meaningless sex on an industrial scale?
Well, if I were writing this, I'd have to say the latter. It's far more interesting dramatically.
I'd say that settles it. Well, Penny, or Jane, or Commander Bond, is that really your name?
Ian, I'm the same woman I've always been. And my father's name really is Ernest. I should think that's important.
I'm off, dear. Where I'm headed, you can't follow.
What will you tell your mother?
Nothing. As far as I'm concerned, the bitch is dead. And you may as well be too.
No. Noel, I'm so heartbroken.
Oh, there, dear. The pain will be absolutely ghastly for a while, but you'll come out of it.
Perhaps touch of yoga might help. I wonder if the beast hasn't left yet.
Penny exits.
I say, old boy, you're still with us?
A Führer follows Napoleon. I tried to make it safer for him and the Reich, but I failed. And now he will fail. All our hopes and dreams for the next 1,000 years will die.
While you're waiting, don't you think you'd be more comfortable in your cell?
Bitte.
Coward helps him up and walks off stage. He will later return.
Well, my career in espionage did not turn out. Mother wouldn't allow it. Beast returned to London without the thanks of king or country he so wanted. But it was said he made his peace with the thankless world. Noel never did find out how Beast did any of those marvelous things, but it doesn't matter. He sat down and in 5 days wrote a script that turned out to be such a smash hit that it surprised even him. Audiences loved it. The critics loved it. 1,999 performances before it was all over. A record at the time.
And?
Oh, right. Sorry. Ran longer even than the bloody war. People couldn't stop asking him, how did you write such a brilliant piece in 5 days?
Well, I'd say, genius, you know, a bit like magic. There's no explaining it.
Coward exits.
Made a bloody fortune off the thing. And what did I get out of it? A telegram of thanks from the Prime Minister, addressed to Peter Fleming. After the war, I was pretty good at journalism, but not great. Seems I was destined for a life in the shadow of my brother. Ah, well. At least I avoided the civil service. And then I got an idea for a novel. A spy novel. Set around a casino. The villain would be a pompous grotesque, said to have had magical powers that make him, among other things, unbeatable at the table. Somehow it felt right. It felt like I might have finally found my own power and what I was meant to do. Truly.
Bolt of lightning and a crash of thunder. Lights flicker for a moment. Fleming snaps his fingers and lights go out. End of play.
Great job, everybody. Wonderful job, cast. Thank you, and a big thank you to everyone watching. This show will stay up on our Facebook page, or you may view it on our website or on YouTube. Thank you for your continued support. Next Tuesday, we will present another original play, 6 Apartments. Thank you for watching, and see you next week. Thank you. Yay, bravo, bravo.